It is the idol type that debuted in Medarot 9 and made her place in most rosters, especially Medarot S since. It is IDL-01 Deer Stage, with a kit of Full Charge, Bug, Freeze, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Rush, which buffs the success and power of equipped melee parts if the number equipped exceeds that of the targets. Now honestly, across the board, Deer Stage is a very conventional ailment-based fighter that adds a little extra power behind her skills, which honestly is great. Full Charge, of course, we have seen it before, and is a wonderful skill on any Metaforce-reliant builds, as it does eat into your head HP to fully cap your Metaforce gauge, which is great if you decide to pair it off with skills such as, say, Hyper Beam, Beam Sword, Laser, Beam in this case, or even maybe more conventional skills that don't get that damage bonus. Say, for instance, Break or Break Hammer. Anything that's Metaforce-reliant, Full Charge can make use of very feasibly and very effectively. Bug is essentially the variant of Virus, so it does inflict that turn skip if you are able to outrun the opponent, or if you maybe are not quite fast enough and you inflict them with it after their turn, it does grant that extra punish for someone who can come behind and make them especially sorry for going first. Freeze also is a fantastic ailment to use on just about any team, as it does stop the enemy in their tracks with a paralyzed ailment, and Freeze also guarantees that they are unable to dodge or guard the next incoming attack, which means it's guaranteed to land, and it's guaranteed to be a critical hit when it does. The leg ability of Rush does tie into these pretty nicely though, as long as she's fighting anything that's 2 or fewer melee parts equipped, she gets an extra damage bonus, which means that whether she uses an ailment, or if you choose to pair the legs off with, say, a more conventional combat skill, she does get that extra bonus to her success, likelihood of landing and critting, and power, the base power of this skill when attacking, as long as the number of melee skills she has equipped exceeds that of the targets. So across the board, she is very well balanced for what she offers, especially as a dedicated ailment fighter in this case, with a little more kick behind her. But so as a pure set, I would rate her pretty solid 7.5 out of 10. She's very speedy, pretty agile on her feet too, pretty solid ailment skills on top of that. Unfortunately, Full Charge is kind of misplaced in this case though, because her build does not have anything on it that's Metaforce reliant. Bug, Freeze, and Rush are not Metaforce reliant skills, so it does kind of stick out like a sore thumb. The only way I would see Full Charge in the case of her being as a pure set being feasible is maybe as like an emergency Metaforce, maybe to turn the tides in battle if maybe things are starting to turn sideways and not look so good in your favor. But as mixed parts, on the other hand, I would rate her much higher at a very solid 8 out of 10, because as mentioned, Full Charge you can use just about anywhere on any build that is Metaforce reliant. Bug and Freeze also are fantastic ailments to make use of, and you can never go wrong with either of them. Biped Legs also very good on most terrains, and the Rush ability also makes it geared towards melee fighters in this case. So say for instance, Black Stag's sword and hammer arms in this case might be able to make good use of that, and then maybe pair off the head with a melee-based skill such as Stab Shrike's Pile skill, and triple melee in this case will fully guarantee that with any opponent not using 3 melee skills, that Deer Stage is going to have the upper hand. So very solid across the board, rather squishy in the HP department as well, but that is also kind of par for the course with most female models. So as long as she isn't particularly attacked too heavily, or on the receiving end of a particularly dangerous attack, she can hold her own relatively solidly.